everybody, DeathsStalker here. So I thought I'd tell you the final thing that happened to us over the winter. Well, it technically happened to me. And this was shortly after we had spent the $4,700 taking care of our cat and our car. And in February we got a lot of snow and slight warm weather melting it, and turning to ice, and then some more snow, and back and forth and whatnot. And one of the days we were heading out to do some grocery shopping, and I walked around to the driver's side of my car to get into it, and you know, there was about 6-8 inches of powder snow there. And I you know, opened the door of the car, and I had my one hand on the door, and I had was lifting my foot up to put my one foot in the car, and then I slipped. And it turned out directly underneath this 8 inches of snow was probably 4 inches of solid ice. And I mean high gloss, slippery as hell ice. And I went back and went down like a ton of bricks. And I hit the ground, I hit it hard. I ended up bruising my back a little bit, and my hip, which is not a good thing because my left hip has been wrecked by a bunch of bike crashes, so it tends to be a little more sensitive to things like that. And I hit the ground so hard, like, you know when you get whiplash in your head when your head snaps back like that? And my head, I don't think actually hit the ground, but I actually shocked about 4 of my teeth on the one side of my mouth. You know, like when I think what happened was my jaw slammed shut, and I actually ended up with about 4 of my teeth were actually like numb and tingly, and a little bit sore. So I was like, okay, that's weird, but right now my hip and my back are killing me, so I really didn't worry too much about that. And about a week or so later, like, most of my teeth had returned back to normal, but one of them was still kind of sensitive. Well, I had a dentist appointment for my annual checkup the following week, so I thought, well, I'll just mention it at the time. So I go in and I see my dentist, and they check me out, and like everything's all okay, and and I mentioned about this tooth being sore. So the dentist comes in and says, well, I think we need to get an x-ray of that just to be on the safe side. So got an x-ray. Now I've always had problems with my teeth, like if I start thinking about candy or something like that, I'll get a cavity. It's been my whole life. It doesn't matter how many times I've brushed my teeth, gargle, salt, like floss, whatever. It's like I've always been a cavity magnet. My wife gets like, I think she's had like 2 cavities in the 25 years I've known her. So I'm just one of those people. So they did the x-ray, and that particular tooth already had a crown on it because it had some damage from before. And they look and they go, whoa, it looks like that tooth has been driven into the roof of your mouth. Now, if you, quick anatomy thing here, like if you actually look at your skull, you actually have a thin plate that there's, your gums are sitting on, a bone. And it's a very thin piece of bone. And apparently what I had done was I've been patching potholes. What I had done was driven that tooth up through that bone. And apparently it's not uncommon. It happens a lot to athletes who are, you know, like football players, hockey players, that sort of thing. American football for the British followers. And they said, well, we're going to have to send you to a specialist because you're probably going to need a root canal in that tooth. And sure enough, yeah, I went and saw a specialist and had to get a root canal. So it's like, I'd actually been pretty good. I haven't had any problems with my teeth for like the last 4 or 5 years, so I was actually feeling pretty good. But so the dentist was in there and basically drilled a hole in my perfectly good crown, because apparently if they took it off they would have wrecked everything. It would have wrecked the crown, would have probably wrecked the tooth, and would have needed an implant, which would very expensive and not covered by my insurance. So they drilled a hole, did the root canal. Took a lot longer because there turned out to be a lot of decay in there as well. And they eventually, it was all fixed up, and you know, about a week later I went and saw the dentist, and he you know, filled the freshly drilled hole, and now I'm back to normal. But it was like, wow, can't win for losing. So that's the end of all my adventures for the winter time. Spent most of the time trying to stay inside because our winter absolutely sucked this year. Hopefully it won't be as bad this year. Because right now we are in what's called construction. Like most people would call this summer, but right now this is when all the road work happens. Because there's only 2 seasons in Canada, winter and construction. So anyways, hope you enjoyed that. Hope you're taking care of your teeth. Didn't do me any good, but I try. DeathsStalker signing off.